So it's an interesting show today. It's Holden, it's Stats, it's JBC. And I'm going to be honest with you. I'm completely distraught right now. I just heard some things coming out of Stats' bathroom that I'm not sure were made by a human being.
Please make it known that I was sitting here while you were hearing those noises.
You were. I legitimately have no fucking idea what was going on. I do know that you're both in the Tampa area with a fireplace behind you.
Mm-hmm.
Stats. Well, first of all, what are we doing with the microphone here? How is this going to work, guys? I want to know some logistics now that we're on the air.
Well, my face is right in front of it, so you should hear me. You should be able to hear it, JBC.
You can hear me?
Faintly. Okay. That's
shitty. Is it too shitty?
That's the first hurt.
Hello.
That's the first hurdle we got over. Stats, you look wonderful.
I'm thrilled right now.
Now I can't hear you, but that's fine. Who gives a shit? You know, weeks.
Yeah, you don't need to hear me.
Yeah. No. It's quite all right. Is there any way you can do something that I'm doing, like take the mic down and then just pass it around?
Because it's all connected here.
Yeah. There's you guys just didn't think this through, did you?
Well, I assumed he was going to use his laptop, but he wanted to be next to me.
But your internet's fucking terrible, so
you have bad internet.
I guess that's my fault.
100%.
I have an idea though. Why don't I just go through the slate with JBC first, and I'll circle around and get your thoughts. Stats, isn't that a good idea?
How about you just do it with JBC?
I mean,
no, go ahead. Go.
Here's
go
Boynton. What a scene we have here. Yeah. Merry Christmas, gentlemen. Always appreciate the winners. I'm waiting for my Christmas bonus. Doesn't look like that's going to happen. I do want to pop this up on the screen, though. I don't know if you guys see this, sharing your computer.
That's
Who's that,
girl.
JBC?
Oh, that's Peach.
That's Peach.
That's my pride and joy.
Your pride and joy, Peach. And I have gone rogue. I have decided that I am the person, since I came up with the idea, I'm going to announce the RPS Dog of the Year. And Peach was not in the conversation until I did the show with Schlong this morning. And he sent me a picture and I said, Peach has got to be in the conversation. I mean, this dog, what a beautiful hunk of flesh this dog is. How old is Peach? And does Peach have a penis or a vagina?
Peach has a vagina.
Mm-hmm.
Peach is 4. Also about Peach's vagina. When she was very little, we had to. She had some kind of repressed vulva or something, so I had to pay for a vaginal rejuvenation surgery for a dog. That happened.
Not true.
No, it's 100% accurate.
That is true.
Why would you do that though? Why she doesn't?
Because
know
she was going to be at high risk for like infection if we didn't do it.
Okay, so there are veterinarians, or did you bring her like a real person? Like a reconstruction.
No, the vet did it.
The vet did it. Now, how often does the vet do this type of surgery? I'm fascinated.
I think it's more common in bulldogs.
But
because bulldogs have all kinds of fucked up health problems. But I didn't get the vibe that it was like super common, but like it also like didn't seem that serious. I don't know.
Okay. Why don't you hit the like button now? That would be great. For more great content like this, Giblets 44, GIBLETS 44. Stats I'll get to you in a moment, but from what I understand, JBC was the third leg on a date. Is this accurate, JBC?
That's not true.
There were 4 of us.
There were 4.
Sully was there with me. Sully Brochill, RPS member Sully Brochill was there with us. So it's 3 of us.
There was other people there too.
And I had 2 of the homies come.
It was just brief.
Yeah, Stats, don't even bother. I can't even hear you, man. You're like,
well, because I'm behind the microphone. But yeah, no, it was brief. There were other people there as well.
Right. But I'd like to talk with JBC. JBC.
No, we're not allowed to talk about this. I already got in trouble that she does not want to be spoken about on podcasts.
She's not listening to this.
Yeah, no, trust me. Yeah, she went and listened to the last one. She's like, yeah, not good. So
hold on, the one that we did or a different one?
The old guys and this one.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
JBC, how what'd you think of her?
She's very nice. She's very nice, and she seems to be extremely well put together and good for John. So I'm happy for him.
He looks very uncomfortable. I've never seen Stats uncomfortable.
No, I'm just sitting close to JBC, which always makes me uncomfortable. It has nothing to do with the.
In all seriousness, Stats, what were the sounds coming out of your bathroom before we went on the air? Because the last time I heard something like that was at the Atlanta Zoo about 40 years ago.
Yeah, well, this is what happens when you spend any time with JBC. You hear these noises. I'm used to it, but this is the man. The man makes quite the sounds all night. He's got, what is it? It's the
my lungs are not good.
Yeah,
my lungs are not good. I have bad esophageal reflux shit also, so that's why.
Yeah, and it's shocking considering how healthy we've been all week with the drinking and eating absolute shit. So it's amazing he doesn't feel better.
Can you share a tale of debauchery from the week, and then we can get into the slate? Is there no? You're not.
I mean, there's nothing great. It's just it's pretty standard JBC fare. I mean, we've got the Georgia Tech bowl game right after this, so I would imagine that's going to get a little stupid.
Yeah, and surprisingly, JBC betting against the Jackets doesn't make sense. JBC.
I just listen to what the computer tells me,
and the computer told you to bet against your team.
Yes.
Now, are you betting against your team or just posting what the computer said? Because it's tough to bet against your own team.
I bet everything I post.
Oh, my God. So what are you going to do? Are you rooting for Georgia Tech or are you rooting for your bet?
We'll see what the score is at halftime.
All right. I've never done a show like this. I've been doing shows for a long time, but I guess we will get in. We're going to talk about betting, just NFL today. We're going to do the 2 Saturday games, and then we're going to do the whole Sunday slate that is on the DraftKings DFS. So through the 425 games, those are the games that we're going to look at. And gentlemen, let's begin. We're going to start with the Bengals and the Steelers, and this thing has now moved to 3. It opened at 2 with the Steelers 2-point dogs at home. It's been pushed to 3. The Steelers have given the Bengals some fits in recent games, is what I'll say. And I feel like the Bengals are going to rely on Browning to have to throw a lot because it's tough to run against the Steelers. And on the other side, the Steelers are going to try and run the ball because that's what the Cincinnati defense does not do. So I'm going to throw this to one of you. The line is 3. Some places, if you want to back the Bengals, you can get -2.5. The total, anywhere between 37.5 and 38.5. One of you two gentlemen, please break this one down for me.
So I think a lot of people think that Mitch Trubisky is just fucking terrible, and that's why the Steelers have been struggling the last few weeks. But in reality, their whole offensive apparatus is just awful, and it has nothing to do with him. And Mason Rudolph is probably worse than him. So I like the Bengals to cover this one.
Stats.
This guy's been talking all sorts of shit about Tomlin and how he's the greatest coach that's ever walked the planet for the last couple of days, and now he's going to go against them. This is a prime Tomlin game. Tomlin at home, getting points off a bad loss, like in a divisional game. Give me Tomlin here. I love Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh covers this game. They win it outright. I'm going with the Steelers, and I think listen, all their quarterbacks suck, so I don't really care if it's Mason Rudolph or who it is. I'm taking Pittsburgh. I think Tomlin rallies the troops here and gets the job done.
Okay, here's the problem. Every time we go against JBC, you and I together, we lose.
Well, that has been the trend the last few weeks.
So I'm just going to lie and say I'm taking the Bengals -2.5. That is a great selection, JBC. I have never heard anything as brilliant as that. So great selection there, JBC. Let's move on to our next game. Bills visiting the Chargers. This line's kind of been interesting. So it opened at 10.5. It's now at 12.5, 13 at some places. The total is at 44. We got a red hot Buffalo team going up against a team in the Chargers that got embarrassed on national television. But then if you play the narrative game, in a lot of these spots, the team that fires the coach, the players kind of rally around him. So JBC, as I tell you once again, the lines, I'm going to go with the 12.5 and the 44. Which side are you on?
So it opened at what, like 10.5, goes up to 14, then back down to 12.5.
Mhm.
And I just think the Bills are going to kill him. I really don't see what the Chargers have for him. Without Herbert, they're just god awful, as we've seen. And I think the Bills win by a lot.
Blowing them out. So you're taking them to cover that 12.5. All right, Stats. Little pushback here. Are you with or against the man sitting on you?
I mean, this is tricky because this is a really good. This is a sharp. This is where the sharps like a play like the Chargers here typically. Getting this many points, you've got the Chargers off a brutal loss, bounce back situation. But I mean, Buffalo's playing really well, and I think you get the narrative here with the new coach. Whenever you get the coach that the team wants out, and you get a little bit of a bounce from the new coach. My numbers like the Chargers. My lean is going to be on the Chargers, but yeah, I mean, obviously Buffalo, with how well they're playing right now, they could totally blow out they could blow LA out. But I don't know. You're taking Buffalo off a tremendous win against Dallas, a little bit of a letdown. The Chargers off one of the worst losses of all time. I think we get a bounce. I think the game stays closer than we expect. So I'm going to go with the Chargers on this one.
Like button would be great. Let me throw a couple other dogs here because now this is a break between Saturday and Sunday. RPS dog of the year. What do you guys think of Bruce's dog? Bruce, the guy that does our college. You like it? Yeah. Stats?
That's not bad.
JSU's dog, as he has his own portrait in the background. It's a doodle, so I don't think it's in contention, but JBC seems like he's okay with it. What do you like more, the dog or the portrait of the dog, JBC?
Definitely the portrait. The portrait is what makes it.
All right, so then the dog's got to be out because the dog's not as good as a painting. What do you think, Stats?
The dog's mid.
The dog is mid. I'm with you. What do you think, Stats?
I like the dog. I like the posture of the dog. The dog looks very disciplined.
You like the posture?
Yes.
Okay. K. Fallick, his old dog just had ACL surgery. Not as dramatic as your Bulldog's labia reconstruction, yet probably a longer time to recover. It's a rescue as well. This to me is the front runner. JBC, thoughts on K. Fallick's wounded puppy?
The clothing accessory makes it. The leg thing. That's key here. And I don't know. Can't really win the title when you tear your ACL. Unless you're Carson Wentz. And then you tear your ACL and you win the title.
Okay,
but
that's a great point. So I'm going to have to knock it down because of the ACL. Okay, Stats, thoughts on K. Fallick's dog?
Yeah, I mean, I can sympathize with any sort of animal that is dealing with limping issues or joint issues. So there's a special place in my heart there. That's for sure.
Yeah, I'm a big K. Fallick one. All right, just two more. Actually, three more. Uncle T, Cassandra, my lover, she enjoys Uncle T's the most. Thought on this beautiful elderly beagle, guys. Any thoughts? Yes. JBC says yes.
Yeah,
Stats,
very cute dog.
Yeah, I mean that face is kind of begging you to vote for it.
Yeah.
So I got a hard time passing on Uncle T's dog.
Well, this is tough. The only dog so far that's been kicked out would be this dog. The one that JBC calls mid. Okay.
That's a royal looking dog, man.
We got another elderly pup. This one in a hoodie. I'm not a big fan of people dressing dogs up.
Oh, I am.
You like it. You like that. You sick bastard, you. Okay. So you are down with AP's dog. Like on a scale of 1 to 10, JBC, where's AP's dog?
6.9.
Oh, that's awful. Stats.
That's the best rating.
6.9 is a pretty high rating.
Oh, I just got it. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of getting the dog dressed up. That dog, I get the feeling like they put that dog in a stroller as well.
Yeah.
Which really drives me bananas. So I'm gonna have to give some points off for that.
All right, last one. This is JT Jim Hayes's dog, Quinny. That's all I got to say. 4.2.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna get a dog that looks like that, get the big one. The bulldog.
Yeah, 100%. And then just like Christine said, I DQ'd your dog. Yeah, had no shot. Had no shot. You accuse me of being a dictator, you're out.
Somebody asked who won putt-putt. I fucking did.
You guys putt-putted? Oh, yeah.
The Tiger Woods shit.
Tiger Woods.
How was it?
Yeah, I mean, he it's a great, the place is great, but he got a very lucky hole-in-one.
I did. It was like a 60-foot triple bender.
Beat me by a stroke.
Okay. John Magnani saying APs is in the lead. Okay. Duly noted. Let's get to the Sunday slate, gentlemen. We're going to start with Atlanta hosting the Indianapolis Colts. So explain to me, is this just because it's a road game for the Colts? Explain to me why the Falcons are 2.5-point favorites here. I really don't get it. At the very least, it's a great teasing opportunity for me with the Colts. The total is 45. So the Stats JBC combo. Why is this line in favor of the Falcons 2.5?
This is my best bet of the week, my favorite play of the week on Atlanta. Heineke is a massive upgrade at quarterback, and the Atlanta defense has consistently been in the top 5 all year. The Colts fucking suck at defense, and the Falcons should be able to score a little bit when they usually can't. So, especially at home, I like the Falcons.
Wow. Stats, I'm a little surprised here. Please take the Falcons, because I don't want to have to agree with you, and that means JBC is going to be right again.
It's interesting. We saw some sharp money come in on Indy at plus 1.5, and at the 1.5. So I like Atlanta though as well. So I'm going against the sharp money. I like Atlanta minus 2.5. How did that line go up when the sharps came in on Indy earlier in the week, and the line's now 2.5? I agree. I think Heineke is an upgrade. I think they'll be able to score on the Colts. And the one thing they've done well all year, Atlanta, is play defense. So I agree with JBC. Atlanta is one of my favorite plays of the week.
So we are not going to fade Arthur Smith. Backing Arthur Smith this week.
What was the stat you did with Arthur Smith?
Oh, it was like statistic and personnel adjusted, like how bad the play caller has been this year, and he's been over double as bad as the next worst person, which is like the Jets or somebody.
So we want to back that man.
Yes.
Regression. It doesn't make sense to me. To be honest with you.
Listen, if betting made sense, everybody would win.
It's a fine point. Very wise man that you are, Stats. So the next game to get into, Green Bay visiting Carolina, the lowly Panthers. You can find Green Bay minus 4.5. You can find 5s. You can find 5.5s. And the total is 37.5. And this one actually got bet up from 36. So the total is rising, JBC. I don't know if you got a thought there, but what about backing Green Bay 4.5 on the road, or taking that 5.5 with Carolina at home?
I don't really have too much of a vibe on the total. I obviously, Green Bay's been scoring a lot better than they had been at the beginning of the season, but 5 points I think is too many for Carolina with how strong the defense has been playing. And Bryce Young's looking a little better, so I like the Panthers plus the 5.
What do you think there, Stats? You got to take on this Panthers-Packers game?
Yeah, I don't love the game as a bet. My lean would be on the Carolina side of it, though, as well. I think it's too many points. I mean, Green Bay is not good enough to be fair. This Carolina team, put it this way, we saw what Green Bay did at the Giants. I don't think this Carolina team is necessarily even worse than the Giants. I think they're starting to play better. So I like the points here. As a matter of fact, I think if you're going to take this game, you're better off just taking the money line, because I think they have a good shot to win the game outright. I would prefer that over just taking the spread. And I would lean towards the under. I mean, the Carolina defense, one thing the Carolina has been really good at, stopping quarterbacks, stopping the wide receivers. So I expect that to be that's going to hold true again this week. You don't want to play against them in DFS. So I think it'll be a low-scoring game, and I'll take a shot that they win this one field goal again.
All right, next game is going to be Cleveland at Houston. And Case Keenum last week, I mean, he stepped up on the road. Big touchdown pass in the fourth quarter with 3 minutes left. The problem is he's going to have to try and do it again. So they have to rely on Keenum, and the Texans are 2.5 to 3 point dogs at home. Actually, here's another line that's all over the place. You can find a 2 at BetMGM. You can find a 2.5. You can find a 3 at some places. So this line, there's a full point that you can manipulate in there if you want to. And then the total is 40. So JBC, again, we're getting Joe Flacco and Case Keenum in this game. Flacco, from a DFS perspective, is remarkable. He just chucks the ball up. In real life, he turns the ball over a lot. These two coaches have done magnificent jobs with their teams this year. My question for you, which side are you on?
So Cleveland's consistently been either the best or the second best defense in the league the entire season. Their offensive line is amazing. I mean, it's just everything except for the positions where they've had guys get hurt. This is like one of the best teams in the NFL, and getting them under a field goal against fucking Keenum is a gift. Cleveland.
All right, Stats, you with or against the JBC here?
I am totally on the same side here as well. I love this play. I just don't see Houston being able to score on the Cleveland defense. So Flacco has been more than serviceable. The offensive line, pretty solid. They will put up enough points, and I think it winds up just being a really boring game. I would lean towards the under on this game as well, and but Cleveland scores at least 20. Houston be lucky to get double digits.
It's interesting, yeah, because that total's 40. There's another total that we're going to talk about here in a couple of minutes that doesn't make sense to me, but this week 40 is kind of the mean total, I guess, right? 40, 41, because I'm looking at things. We got 38.5, we got a 44, we got a 37, a 37.5. So a 40, that's just where football is this year, Stats. We talked about it, dude. This, whether it's the two high safeties for whatever reason is, the scoring is down. Well, I think the backup quarterbacks too probably even have a bigger impact than anything else. The next game we're going to check out here on picking winners. How about Detroit and Minnesota? It's going to be Goff and the Lions looking to stay in the mix for a top seed. And you've got on the other side, Nick Mullins, who was fine, led a little bit of a comeback last week. It's a healthy total. 47 is the total in this game, and the Lions -3 on the road. How are we getting to 47 points here, JBC?
The Lions are going to put up like 35.
The Lions are going to put 35?
Yeah, I think they're just going to fucking score and score and score. I love the Lions in this game.
Wow, Statsational. What do you got?
I like the over more. I would lean towards Detroit, but I like the over more. Same thing. I really don't think either team's going to stop the other offenses. So I think this is an up and down game. It's probably the best DFS game, I think, for the weekend. I know some other people are going to like some of the other games, but I think this one is where we're going to see the most points. So I like the over 47.5. I think it gets over there easy. And if I had to lean to one side, I'm going to take Detroit.
So this Nick Mullins offense isn't that bad. Like, they're good enough to score enough points to help it go over.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll throw a pick six too.
No. Oh, that's the beauty with the over. You saw what he did last week. He had no conscience at all.
Pick six.
Or maybe no eyesight. Maybe it was like a Winston thing where he's a little blind, but he threw some awful passes. But you want that high risk quarterback in totals.
I'll say this, that the whole surgery for Winston did not do anything for him. Like, he's not a better quarterback after that. Huh?
Yeah, he hasn't played enough. He should be playing. I mean, Carr is just tough to watch.
He's a
play
disaster.
Winston, especially when they're down a bunch. We said it last night. I was like, put the high risk guy in there. What's the worst that happens?
They still lose. And there's nothing wrong that happens. Washington and the Jets. Ay. So it's Trevor Siemian under center. And despite that, the Jets are 3-point favorites at home. The total is 37. So a couple of things this is just two evenly matched teams on a neutral field. Is that where we are at this point? Or they think the Jets are even a little bit better? And then 37 points. How are these two teams going to get to 37, JBC? That to me is a lot of points for these two teams.
Well, Sam Howell is Jameis Winston, but white. So, Washington has been they've been able to score this year, and they haven't stopped anyone. So, I mean, if you had told me 2 or 3 weeks ago that we would actually get a Washington total of 37, I would have been like, what the fuck? So, I like the game to go over, and I like the Jets to beat Washington.
All right, what do you got? Stats?
Yeah, I'm totally the other way. I think Washington wins this game against the Jets. I like this is a bettable game for me, plus the 3. Just I think the games goes under. So it's the rare game that we're against each other on both sides. I like this game to it may have moved a little bit too much. This was a little higher early in the week. You could have got it at 39 early in the week. Kind of hate where it is now, but I still think it's going to be a low scoring game. And I think Washington just wins this game outright.
Oh, that's amazing that we got a 37 in this game. But again, I mean, you're right. Sam Howell chucks it up. And there we go. Another game where we could have a pick 6. Who the hell knows? Mitch Snyder, elite setup here with John and Mark. Totally elite. How did you decide on the fireplace in the background? I feel like you should put some snow and Santa Claus.
I mean, it was a very spur of the moment thing. So
with the red lighting,
it kind of goes.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Yeah, set the mood.
It is. It's definitely some type of mood. I'm really disappointed we're not talking more about your girlfriend, but you know what? We can't. I'm going to respect your privacy, Stats. I'm going to respect your privacy 100%. Look at JBC smiling over there. Yeah, it's a good man, right?
She's a very nice and beautiful lady.
She's now you threw the beautiful in too. Stats, a little jealous, buddy. 41.5 total for Seattle at Tennessee. Okay, Will Levis is banged up. He is questionable. This total has come down from 42.5. Seattle is a 3-point favorite on the road. Geno Smith said he was upset because he thought he could have started the Seahawks victory over the Eagles, and he didn't. I don't know if they go back to Drew Lock. I doubt it because they invested a lot of money in Geno Smith, but JBC, that probably won't matter once the game starts. I would think it's going to be Geno against Levis, but again, there are injury question marks here. What's the play if you have any? Again, 3.5 line, 41.5 total, just about universally.
Well, the thing about Levis is we've seen him in a lot of their games that they've put up points. He's run the ball quite a bit and scrambled around. And if he's ankles hampered and he can't really run, I worry what about, Tennessee being able to score. So, with Geno coming back, Geno's a significant upgrade over Locke. I like the Seahawks to cover this one.
Stats?
Yeah, I mean, I think Geno's going to play. I don't love this as a bet. My lean is on Seattle, though. I think Seattle comes out. You tough off that Monday night game. That was a pretty big win for them, but they need to follow it up to try to make the playoffs here and win this game against Tennessee. I think they do it. I just don't have as much conviction in maybe making a bet on it, but I do know some sharp money came in on this one when it was sub 3. So, and that's pushed it up to 3.5 in some spots with juice. But yeah, my lean would be Seattle.
Matt Burton, UCF -6 tonight. He likes it. Mitch Snyder likes my background now more than the fake brick. It sucks being in a basement, to be perfectly honest with you. I just got moved down to the basement because I had to give my daughter my office, which had natural light. It was beautiful. It was quiet. And now I'm down here in this shithole. I mean, it's just awful. It's not good. And neither one of you have kids, so you'll never understand it. And you're probably saying, why did he have kids? But it really is worth it sometimes. Jacksonville at Tampa Bay. We still don't know the status of one Trevor Lawrence. We do know he has a concussion, but he was out throwing the ball around. He has not gotten out of protocol. For Tampa Bay, it is Baker Mayfield coming off a career game. The side here, 2.5-point favorites for Tampa at home. The total is 41.5, depending on where you shop. JBC, we don't really know who's going to be under center for Jacksonville right now, but I do want to ask you about Baker Mayfield. Does Mayfield have it in him again, or was that just smoke and mirrors?
I think so. I don't think that, I haven't liked what I've seen from Jacksonville at all in the last few weeks. They just look like shit. They look disoriented. the Bucks look like they're catching their stride. I like the Bucks to win this game, and I like them to put up a lot of points.
What if Lawrence is in the game?
I still like them to win the game.
Wow. Okay. Mr. Stats, Baker Mayfield, maybe Trevor Lawrence. I gave you the lines. What do you like?
Yeah, I'm on the other side. I'm going to go with Jacksonville. I got to go the other way. Sorry. Yeah, I just don't have. I mean, listen, Baker Mayfield was very good to us last week, and Tampa played well. I think this is just one of those teams. This is a 500 team, and Jacksonville, I think, just a better roster all the way around. I think they wound up winning this game. I like it better having Lawrence in there, so we'll wait and see on the bet. But I think Jacksonville wins. It's basically a no bet. I think this is a Lawrence. It's a Lawrence bet, and I usually like betting the backup quarterbacks, but I think this one's Lawrence in. You could fire away on Jacksonville. They'll win this game.
All right, for those of you checking us out, hit the like button. That'd be great. If you're interested in getting in, DFS side, bet side, both sides, make sure you use the code GIBLETS44, GIBLETS 44% off your first payment. Boys, what is the plan on Christmas? Are you guys snuggling together? Will JBC even be there? JBC, what is the Christmas plan?
I'm flying back on Saturday or tomorrow, I guess.
Do you have family coming over?
I'm going to my parents' house.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
It's fine.
Fine. Stats?
I got a flight out tomorrow. I'll be up in New York with the family. Yeah, well, JBC was supposed to be down. Well, we were only supposed to be getting together for the game today. And then what do you have? The FanDuel thing? You had the FanDuel cruise last week.
Yeah.
So he wound up extending his trip and spending an extended, in Tampa. So I've been the beneficiary of that trip. I've gotten to host.
Are you flying by yourself to New York, Stats?
I certainly am.
Okay.
Yes.
That says a lot. Says a lot. Yeah. Arizona at Chicago. The Bears, 4-point favorites at home. This seems to be, from a DFS side, Justin Fields would be very popular this week. 42.5, 43 is the total. No Hollywood Brown, but it really doesn't matter, JBC. Trey McBride has been a godsend for these Cardinals here. The Bears defense has been absolutely shut down. With that being said, Bears a 4-point favorite. Which side?
I like Chicago. I think Fields has been playing great the last, few weeks. He looks like he's himself again. And
I disagree. Those are not crack house vibes.
It's a meth house. You how dare you?
I feel like it's more of an opium den. Look, if I were to envision an opium den.
Yes, but
definitely not a crack house.
I think that the Bears will be able to score a lot and cover the 4.
Stats.
Yeah, I mean, I like Fields against bad teams, and you've certainly got a bad team here. So I think they're going to be able to do a lot here. I think it's a big Fields day. 4 seems like a lot with the Bears, but I think they're kind of pushing you to take Arizona. I would take the Bears here to win this game. You know what? Even take the Bears. This is one of my favorite alt lines. Take the Bears double-digit favorites and look for the blowout.
Wow.
Smash. Okay.
That's the blowout from the Bears. Their defense has been terrific recently. So, and it should have been, but then they brought Montez Sweat over, and it's really changed. They've gotten to be a top tier defense. Last game on the main slate. I don't know if you guys want to talk about some other games. I'll throw it out there, but that's fine. If you don't want to, no big deal. The Dolphins are a point and a half favorite at home against the Cowboys. The total here is 50. Now, the Cowboys did have that big win over Philly. I think they've shit their pants every time they played another good team, though. I do wonder what JBC has to say about the side. And listen, guys, 49.5, 50 total. That's a big total. We don't know if Tyreek is going to play. There have been, the coaches are saying he's looking a lot better. But JBC, break this Dallas at Miami game down.
Dallas should not be an underdog and to basically anybody except for San Francisco, even on the road. So Miami's pretty fraudulent. They've been terrible against good teams. add in the Tyreek stuff, and I think Dallas wins pretty easily.
Stats. What do you think about Dallas here? What do you think of that total sitting around 50?
The game's going under. Yeah, this is a low scoring. This is going to be not low scoring, but it's going to be much lower scoring than the 50. The fact that I believe he spelled ayahuasca correctly is impressive, by the way. So congrats there. And Kevin, I'll be in Brooklyn, but yeah, I like Dallas as well. Dallas wins this game. They are the better team. I think their defense is where they win the game. Like I said, and this game goes under the 50. We'll see this at most. Dallas will get this up to like 24 points and win the game. But I think that's the highest score on the highest score of either team will be 24.
Do you guys have any bets on the Ravens, Niners, or the Christmas Day games? We don't need to talk about them if you don't. But JBC, you're shaking your head. You got anything on those games?
Yeah. I like the Raiders getting 10 in Kansas City.
You like the Raiders getting 10 in Kansas City? Is that what you said?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I don't think Kansas City shown us anything on offense to make me think that they can cover a 10-point spread. So, it should be a low-scoring game, and I think the Raiders keep it close.
Okay. Stats, you got anything else?
Yeah, I love Vegas in that one as well. I think the Kansas City offense just not good enough right now. The Kansas City defense has been obviously great, but 10 is just too big of a number for them to cover. I like Vegas plus the 10.
It's coming back. That Kansas City defense coming back down to earth too. They have not forced as many turnovers recently. So, and yeah, JBC, you know that. So, that's a big number, and the Chiefs and Mahomes have not covered that recently. That being said, this is the one team he loves to beat up on. He's averaging over 300 passing yards a game against him, but he has two guys he can throw to now. Two, Rashee Rice, Travis Kelce, and Kelce looks old. I don't know what's going on. I wonder if it's the injury. What do you say, JBC?
I think he's hurt, and I think that they need to put McKinnon at receiver.
They need to what?
They need to put McKinnon at receiver. That might help.
Well, they got to try Richie James some more too. I just don't understand why he's out there. Rice has played well. I mean, you give him some credit. He's stepped up a little bit. So they do have one option outside of Kelce, but Kelce hasn't looked good. Dropped some passes that he normally eats up. So they've got some issues on with all the issues they have, they could still get the 1 seed, which is crazy.
It's interesting you bring up Richie James because Andy Reid was like, Richie, here's the quote, Richie has to play more than 2 snaps. That's my responsibility. I have to have him in on more stuff. That's the guy I thought would be more involved this year, and he just hasn't been whatsoever. Any thoughts on the 35 total between the Broncos and the Patriots here? I bet the under already. It's going to be sloppy. We're going to have snow and sleet. And actually, sometimes that is an advantage to the running backs and the receivers and stuff like that. But we got a really bad New England offense. And we got a Denver offense that really what they want to do is run the ball. Guys, any thoughts on the total there at 35?
Yeah, I mean, I do like Denver's offense a little bit more than you probably. I think that, even though it is kind of run-centric, they've been moving the ball decently. But you're right. Denver's defense has been playing better, and New England's offense is fucking awful, obviously. So, it does look like an under-type game to me as well.
Okay, very good. Guys, it was what it was. It was interesting, just to say whatever. I'm glad you're enjoying each other's company.
No one said that.
That's the most important thing. Well, you guys went to Tiger Woods putt golf. Is anything cool there? Is there like neon lights or crazy trippy stuff or no?
No, it's like a real golf course except mini golf. Like it looks like a real. It's too cool. They've got a bar in the middle of both. There's an easier course and a harder one. They got a bar in the middle. You've got cornhole going on, foosball, but it's alcohol. And then they bring you the alcohol on the course. I think that's the key. So you have the app, and then you just order the booze to the course, which really is what makes it special.
Are there bunkers with sand in them? Or
They're not sand. It's just thicker grass, but it's colored like a bunker.
And what about water hazards?
No water. No
water hazards.
JBC hit it off the course, so that we counted that as an out of bounds.
Yeah, I took 1 penalty stroke.
1 penalty stroke, and then you dropped, right? You dropped it. Sounds pretty cool. How many of those are there? I kind of want to check it out. I like mini golf, and it's nice.
There's one. Yeah, there's a few around Florida. Someone was asking earlier in the chat. We went to the one in Wesley Chapel, but I think there's one down in like Sarasota area. They've got some on the East Coast as well.
Mm-hmm.
Down Orlando might have one. Yeah, they'll be all over the place. It's like a Top Golf without having to, where everyone could play mini golf, but not too many people can hit the damn golf ball.
I'm going to let you guys get back to what you were doing. Stats.
We're going to the game, man. We're going to the game. If he gets back to what he was doing before the show, it's I don't want to hear that again. So
yeah, that was. Did he know that I was going to hear that, or
I don't think he cares.
He obviously doesn't care. He's the least. He doesn't give a shit. All he wants to do is make money and have fun, right? JBC. It's a very good creed to live by. Like button on the way out. Giblets 44% off your first payment for JBC and Stats. I'm Holden. Keep running pure.